Hello, fellow co-creators and humans. I'm Libby, and I would love to share about the program, The Art of Co-Devotional Love with Johann and Rachel Pringle. This experience was extremely powerful, and I'd like to share about a relationship experience I was moving through as I was a part of this container to just share how actionable and supportive this experience was with very, very real-time results if you are here to do the work. When I stepped into this container, I came as somebody who both works with people on relationships already. I have a background in Tantra and sexuality that is still developing, but also as somebody who has struggled deeply on the relationship side of things, because despite doing a lot of personal work, inner work, and connection with my own body, that act of still connecting with another and communicating through these things, I have found deeply difficult, especially because even when you choose to go on a path of going into Tantra or love or sex or relationships, while intention matters, the reality is when we are connecting with another, that we are still acting in all of the patterns that we were raised with. If we haven't been in relationship, we haven't had the chance to see the pattern. So if you, let's say, took some time in celibacy or time away from dating or connecting and you come back, all your patterns are still there, even though you yourself have more conscious thinking. And that can be extremely difficult to face. It definitely was for me this past year, and even brought a lot of shame. Like, I just studied these things and I've been working on it so much, and I have different relationships that are working in different ways. So why is the intimate relationship bringing out so much? And Johann's and Rachel's work met me right at that spot of overwhelm, frustration, sadness, and really a lot of what for me manifests as anger, because it feels like I just should know how. I just should be able to get through this. I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm hardworking, I care, I study, I'm spiritual. And yet there's some barriers that on one level are very simple, but on the other level are very complex, and they require practice, not just talking about. And especially for those of us who like to get things right and be accomplished in our own little worlds, the practice with someone else and the revealing of your own stuff over and over can be so vulnerable. To the degree, I'm just going to get super vulnerable here, that we might even attract in partners who are not at our level in order to stay with a certain level of ease. And the energy that Rachel and Johann are providing is tools for a match, tools to work with someone who's energetically, mentally, emotionally, sexually, and spiritually also wanting to work at this level with you. So you can't hide. This experience was only 4 weeks, but in those 4 weeks, so much moved. There was so much information packed into the 2 hour sessions. And then this was also split up with exercises and things to apply. And I also just want to share on the application note, I'm somebody who my work, Liberatory Love, I love to get people thinking. I'm a conversation starter and I love getting people thinking and talking. And there's plenty of work that I introduce to people that they are not interested in. And I actually brought up the work of that I was learning with co-devotional love with my father, who's 63, who, like, I kid you not, 5 minutes before I brought up the co-devotional love work, he was like, "Psh," I was talking about inner child, and he was like, "I would never do that." And then I started bringing up just some very, very practical statements about communicating with our partners when we are in stress and how we can start to invite in more of what we're going through. It was so non-lectury. It was so non like, this is the whole background, which is how I go into things. And he was like, I need to go write these down. So just powerful to like truly witness this work affecting me and affecting the people around me. In terms of the advice offered, the guidance offered as well. Immediately, like, I have a burst of hope as I come out of this container, even though I ended up breaking up with the person or separating entirely from the person I was connecting with during this time. I was completely connected to a feeling of hope stepping into this container because truly for the 5 months prior to Co-Devotional Love starting, I was in a place where I was just like, I don't even understand where are we supposed to go for help on these things. And I'm somebody who's working in this industry and it still can be challenging to be with the nuances of relating and dating and within this container, there was just a feeling of hope of there is a way to meet each other. And truly, what I think is very, very empowering is to be a leader in safety and also to be self-responsible with our own energy. So I'm somebody who's like, I'm a big energy, I have a lot of energy, I'm a big energy, I have big emotions. I want to get to be all of this and to get to be in the presence of two people who are deeply self-expressed and have created a relationship container where that self-expression is being manifested and can come through, and to still learn about from them what containment looks like, what healthily expressing who we are looks like, what boundaries, rules, agreements get to be co-created so that safety can exist while full expression can exist is just medicine that I really needed because I truly feel we're out here experimenting, for most of us, we're coming into relationship the way that our parents were or trying to do the exact opposite. And it's still a growing space right now to even have people around us, community around us who's more conscious, and then let alone who's more conscious and also wanting to deepen in committed devotional relationship. There's two other phrases that I learned in this space that just brought so much hope into my world right now. One is recognizing that co-devotion, even though they didn't exactly say it like this, but that there's a contrast from codependence to co-devotion. And I hadn't, when I first heard the word co-devotion, I was just kind of thinking, all right, um, it's, I love this word because I already love the word devotion as a commitment avoidance. Devotion is what supported me. The thought of devotion and the energy, the frequency of devotion is what supported me to start to be committed to my own work and life work. So to me, the phrase co-devotion just meant, okay, we're just both committed to this thing. But they really um, offered this not necessarily intentionally, but it came out through things we were talking about within sexuality as a contrast to codependence, where we're stepping in with so much need. I need you to be this, I need to do this, into a state of co-devotion. So, and I've been working on codependence for a while. So just want to offer that for people who are working with the frequency of codependence and what other option there is, because for many of us who are coming from codependent, we go straight to independent, and then that independent comes out as a push. Co-devotion is a way to both be coming, from my vantage point, what I've learned from them is coming out of codependence, but also coming out of that hyper independence that can create a push energy towards somebody else. And the second major phrase from this work that I learned is the second thing was the 3%, or this concept of really, I won't go into it because you can get in the course to go into that, but really starting to pay attention to the little things as a way to drive intimacy. In addition to this, being present to demos and conversation about erotic touch and connection that is not just what we conventionally think of as sex, but really building out intimacy, building up, building into our whole sexual container with someone, which is not just about the sex, but the sensuality, the way of holding each other, the uh, the builds truly of safety and sensuality with each other was just humbling. I feel like as I make this video, I'm a bit hyper because there's really a joy in my system. Like when the course ended, which was 2 days ago, there was just this light up. It was like, oh my gosh, this burst of energy, this burst of hope, because I haven't had support to work through some of these things yet in my own life. One final thing that I want to speak to that's very supportive in this container is the the support around kind of fundamental truths in connection, regardless of the dynamic of our situation. So regardless of being monogamous or not monogamous, or having, yeah, openness or non-openness in the relationship, like really centering the quality of connection and quality of communication. Because I feel like a lot of conversations right now in the dating space, and even in the once you are in a dating or in a relationship space, the conversation gets very stuck around some very outer things. And to be having so much support on just like the real, we're going to come back to the real, and the present moment contains all the life, and you can be in that present moment with someone you're with, is like, yes, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Um, yeah, I think that's a good summary. If you're interested in finding out more, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. But I truly believe this program is supportive no matter where you're at. And I'll just also say, because there was plenty of couples who are in this program, and it was very supportive to listen to and hear their questions. But for me, as a single person, I felt so deeply grateful for this container because it's, as I said, it actually supported me with getting in communication with the person who I was dating or had been dating, and learning about both of our needs, and still myself getting re-triggered and eventually leaving the situation, but being able to actually do that and witness and allow what needed to come up, and be in that co-devotion right now with myself, really see what is needed for me now. Every single practice, every single dialogue, I feel, is completely relevant to being in relationship with yourself, and even applicable to business relationships as well. I was applying the things I was learning within business. And also, it's preparational in a way. We're not just gonna all of a sudden start knowing how to be more honest, how to be more open, how to speak about our parts, how to connect with our triggers, how to build up and slow down sexually, if we're not first practicing with ourselves. And this feels like something that I 100% would come back to and do with a partner. But for now, I feel so much more equipped to be in a more loving state, and to even use, to be completely honest, to even use the word love. There is a degree to which I had reduced, I'm a rare person in that I'm running a business with the word love in it, but at the same time, I have reduced the amount of the use of the word love in my own life, because of how much that word has gotten equated with the reduction of myself, or very poor communication situations that involve manipulation. And this space offered guidance to really be in love in a new practice. So thank you so much, Johann and Rachel. And thank you to the incredible community who was a part of this space, who asked so many questions and brought their vulnerability and allowed us to grow together.